Yeah, and in the analog media phase, there was incredible wealth to be made because you had access to kids 24/7 through the hit parade stuff.
In the global theater of the absurd.
Of making money instantly. In that sense, it's a pop, a bubble. I mean, it really is. It's a neg-entropy in the software
global
world.
theater of the absurd.
It's a web 1.0 bubble, or it's a gold rush. It's a new thing you really capitalize on, and that's what they say here. Remember how we commercialized on that scene. So to me, this is showing a cliche process.
In the global theater of the absurd.
Something new that hits the scene, whether it's a whole new environment of rock and roll, or whether it was the telegraph, or what happened.
In the global theater of the absurd.
And Zappa has a vision to go beyond that. He says, look,
sees the ground.
Yeah, he says, look, we can have a new situation. He also, being quadrophenic, he'll adopt the cynical position that nothing's going to change.
In the global
that's only
theater
for those
of the
that come up
absurd.
with romantic, revolutionary notions and don't even begin to know what the real factors are. So he's cynical about them, but he has a vision about how you could do it to have society differently.
In the global theater of the absurd.
Running for president, way back in '68, he was thinking that. A lot of people were thinking we could do this differently. So
in the global theater of the absurd
is the only Bucky Fuller among them who has a vision of why you could kill ugly radio. And if you don't, the piano will just continue to grow.
In the global theater of the absurd.
Part of pop culture, really. He's not.
Yeah.
I don't think of him as pop culture.
Well, he had a couple of songs that were Valley Girl. I mean, that created a pop subculture.
In the global theater of the absurd.
8 years before. That was a big hit, and he was just being part of pop culture is you have a hit for a few weeks, and then you're flash and
in the
into
global
it,
theater of the absurd.
But Valley Girl went on for a while.
Yeah, it did.
Right, but I want to see. I noticed something else in here. The part where he goes, "Right, man," and it was like people sitting in doorways freaking out tourists going merry-go-round, and they call that doing their thing. So it's like the way that this dynamic works, this cliche process of the expanding new obsolete environment, people have to do their thing. So they have to find out
the global theater of the absurd.
What's my thing in this environment, and then they engage in role playing.
Yeah, what's my role? Yeah, exactly. I see it as
the global theater of the
micro
absurd.
view of everyone being a satellite composer.
That's right.
Stuck in the piano.
Yeah, that's what was incredible in the '60s.
In the global theater of the absurd.
Which not many people knew. And hearing how Frank picked the right words, and where he says merry-go-round, merry-go-round, and you can think of iron
the
going
global
saying the wheels
theater
go
of
round
the
and round, the
absurd.
wheels go round and round. Do, and they call that doing their thing. See, here's Zappa. He's looking at the freak culture, the hippie culture that's happening
In the
in
global theater
in
of
LA
the
and San
absurd.
Francisco, and he's knowing that what the kids think is freedom is it's ridiculous.
In the global theater of the absurd.
Why the kids want to do their thing. He just noticed that's the new trend and makes fun of it.
In the global theater of
people
the
want to do their
absurd.
thing for the very reason you just quoted. In the satellite theater, there is no audience, so everybody becomes an actor and looks for a role and puts on a costume.
In the global theater of
So
the
you put
absurd.
Zappa and McLuhan together, you got a really good history of the '60s. So when Dylan said, you want to know the '60s, read McLuhan and Mailer, well, that's illiterate. There's Dylan, the literate poet, pointing to those two writers. No, put McLuhan with Zappa. Then you got a real history.
In the global theater of the absurd.